everyone, and welcome to episode number 194 of Husavik Heroes here on Shaun Does FM. I hope you are doing well. And coming up in today's episode, we do play the first leg of the first knockout round for the 2038 Champions League. And as you can see on screen, we are travelling to Portugal to take on Sporting in that first leg. Also a little bit of a transfer update as well as what has happened since we did last see you guys late on last week, and obviously in the background as well, a quick little update because as you can see, we're in a bit of a new environment. So if you are looking forward to today's episode, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying this series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. It is greatly appreciated, but it's been a little while since we did do the end of the group stage at the end of last week, as well as the first knockout round draw that was before, obviously. As I mentioned earlier, as you can see, we have moved house. I will adjust some camera settings and whatnot over the next few days and just get things a little bit more polished so that things do look a little bit better, because I've just had to rush this one a little bit to get this video out to you guys for the second day of this week. But we will get there eventually, but obviously no green screen because I'm kind of in a little bit of a corner now in this little room that we do have here, and also just need to sort a few other things out, try and get a few things maybe in the background as well from some previous saves on the channel, but we'll get there eventually. But we'll sort things out over the next few days. Let me know what you do want done to make this look a little bit better, and I'll also try and remember to blend right so I'm a little bit more in the center of the picture. But we have gone forward to mid-February off the back of that first knockout round draw at the end of last week. In terms of games that we have played, there hasn't been too many because just at the first few of the Deal to Car, obviously you can see there are a lot of friendlies, which we did win very comfortably, and then we did start the League Cup here in Iceland, the competition we have a very, very good record in. So far, things are going very well here as well. Picking up a 12-0 win against Letnia Reykjavik. That was with our first choice 11, Adam Saki there, grabbing a heap of goals off the back of that. Our first choice 11 also played our next game, which was against Akranes. We did pick up a 6-0 win here, so a few good results for our first team going into this first league against Sporting in the first knockout round. In our rotation team, they took on Letnia. They picked up 2 red cards in the second half, so obviously with that in mind, we were always going to be quite strongly favoured to be winning this game. We would have been anyway, and we picked up a 7-0 win. So far in the League Cup, looks like we might be on to win it yet again based on our group performances, because we have a 25 goal differential and are the only team who have won all of their games in our group. So we'll see how that does go over the next few episodes. But we have done a little bit of transfer business as well in and around the League Cup, and obviously since the end of last week haven't done that much, obviously, because we can't register any new players for the Champions League. But as you can see, 1 new addition and 2 departures, as well as a loan. Hamid Alapor, he has gone out to Nice to get a little bit of first team football, seeing as he wouldn't be registered for the Champions League squad here at Volsungur. Andreas Ott we got rid of because he was a player who just didn't have a great deal of potential, so we just let go of him, even though that fee is not that great. But we did sign him on a free, so in the end it is a little bit of a profit, but still not the greatest bit of business there for a player that we did sign a little while ago. And then right early on in the European window, Steven Garcia, Jamaican centre-back. He was a foreign player, 3.5-star potential when he was at the club, so we did decide to let him go, and he has left for Cologne, of course, a team who are also in the knockouts of the Champions League this season for £12 million, could rise up to £15 million, and included in that is a bit of a percentage in the next sale as well. So that's a good little price there, I think, for a foreign centre-back. We are quite deep in that position, and for a player who we did sign only a couple of seasons ago, who we did get on a free transfer after he was released somewhat from FC Dallas, and one of those weird moves that does happen in Football Manager, where players get released from MLS clubs because they have too many players of a certain classification. So there's the transfer business that we have done. In terms of the outs, just 1 new addition. So far we've actually made a profit in this transfer window, £6.75 million to get Emil Holst out of Horsens, and he was a player who PSG were after. So that is why we went after him, quite a promising Danish left back, and he decided to choose us over PSG, which is very, very nice indeed. So it's quite nice to be able to do that now at this point in the save. 2.5-star current ability, 3-star goal potential, but 4-star white potential. He could end up being potentially a second choice left back for us here at the club, not being a foreigner like Herrera and being a little bit better than someone like Premsel. Bokic is definitely a player who we can find a use for, and being only 18 years old, still does have time to become homegrown nation and at club, and he is the only new addition, albeit because he's only joined us recently, he will not be available for the rest of this Champions League season. So that is what we have done. That does mean that in terms of the first team, things look exactly the same as they did at the end of last season. And saying that, Jonathan Berger does currently have a little bit of the flu. He probably could play if we really needed him to, but I think taking on a team like Sporting, we should be right just playing him off the bench if we absolutely need him. So that does mean that Louis Herrera will be starting this one, but apart from that, we are at full strength, something I am considering potentially going into our next European season. We'll put Berger back in there to show you what our usual team would look like. Bassero Gay, better centre-back option than Ali Ramadan, and that could mean that we find a way to actually put Alain Basicki into this lineup, and then we look like we have a really, really strong team here at Volsungur. It's not like we don't already, but that could make it even stronger. So that's something that we might just do heading into the next European season whenever we do get that far. But for now, Ramadan is still in there as the club captain, and Bassero Gay will still keep that DM role. It does mean that we have quite a good bench. And for this one game coming up today, Louis Herrera is going to be taking the place of Jonathan Berger, who is just recovering from that flu. So that's what things do look like going into the first leg of this first knockout round. We have had the first half of games played in the first knockout round, and as you can see, Hertha Berlin in particular in a very, very good spot. They picked up a 6-2 win at home over Inter Milan. Juventus 1-1 against Bayern. PSG trail Real Madrid, the defending champions. They are up 1-0, and also Man United are 1-0 up at the halfway stage of that tie as well. On this match day, us and Sporting, Cologne and Chelsea, and we'll come back at the end of today's episode and give a quick little update on what happens in those bottom two ties between Manchester City, Barcelona and Real Sociedad and RB Leipzig. A quick look at Sporting going into this one. It should be a team that we are quite capable of beating. At the end of last week, I did think this was quite a kind draw for us, a 4-star reputation club. They are currently top of the Portuguese league, but we've had pretty good success recently against Portuguese clubs in the Saver, playing a 4-2-2-2, quite a narrow formation. Hopefully, our wing-backs and our inverted wingers / inside forwards can make the most of that, and we can really get a good result here away from home, or at the very least, keep things close going into that second leg coming up in tomorrow's episode. But this should be a team that we are very, very capable of beating, and hopefully get through this first knockout round pretty relatively unscathed. And we have actually played these guys before as well, albeit it was quite a while ago now, all the way back in 2029 when we were in the Europa League semi-final. So that was the year we got beaten in our only Europa League final by Liverpool 2-2 away from home, then 1-0 at home. Obviously, it's been 9 years nearly since then. We are a much, much stronger team now, and hopefully we can pick up 2 good results here over the next couple of episodes. But I think that's all the things that we do need to wrap up before we do get into the action for today's episode. We'll come back shortly from the Estadio Jose Alvalade for the first leg of this first knockout round in the Champions League of 2038, taking on Sporting of Portugal. And here are the team sheets for this first game of the knockouts of the Champions League for 2038. There are Sporting playing that same formation that we did see before, the 4-2-2-2, quite narrow. And there we are with just that one change, Herrera coming in at left back for Jonathan Berger. And hopefully, as I mentioned earlier, get a good result here away from home to take into the second leg tomorrow. And all the way forward to the 33-minute mark for our first highlight of this one, it is Martins here who pumps the ball deep, but we do get it in the path of Herrera and try and get something going here down the left-hand side. Nice ball there for Doumbia, shuffles that on for Adam Saki. It comes off the post. That's some really good play, trying to make the most of some pretty good early dominance in this game, but unfortunately, the post there does come to the rescue of Sporting. It does stay 0-0, albeit not too long off the back of that first highlight. We do have another Denali, this time, and that's a really good save from the Sporting goalkeeper. Is another good save in there. In the end, the ball does fall to Agatigere. We'll just have to wait, though, here for a VAR check. He might have been offside. I suspect he indeed was there, and indeed that is the case. It looked a little bit too good to be true, that goal. I think it is fair to say a few good saves there from the Sporting goalkeeper, and off the second one from Bayer, he must only just be a foot offside. We put the ball in the back of the net. It doesn't count, still 0-0, coming up to the 40-minute mark. And there's half-time in this first leg of the first knockout round in the 2038 Champions League. Still 0-0, not many highlights, just a few there around about with 10 minutes to go of that half. But for the most part, we are well and truly on top in this one. Would have been nice if that goal to Agatigere had have counted, but it wasn't to be. Hopefully, we continue to play this way and get a few goals here in the second half. We will still tell the boys we're not happy with that half. Just adjust a few opposition instructions and come back shortly 0-0 as we get the second half back underway. And just over 10 minutes into the second half, off the back of Agatigere picking up a yellow card, it is a free kick here to Sporting. They put that far post, but thankfully someone there does deal with it for us. But they get it out now to Pauletta down the right-hand side, puts this in, trying to look for Carvalho, but now Denali will try and get something going here for us on the counter-attack, and hopefully we can get a goal off the back of a pretty dominant first half. I think it is fair to say when you did see those stats and also those couple of highlights that we did see around about the 35-minute mark. And here's a ball over the top from Mizkic for Adam Saki. Just takes his time, holds up play, and takes that back to Mizkic. And now Herrera, who is having a decent game coming in for Jonathan Berger. He will pick out Lassana Doumbia. There is the first goal at the new house. And who else but the world-class midfielder here in Lassana Doumbia. He picks up a goal, and that is a well and truly deserved 1-0 lead here away at Sporting. Herrera given a lot of space. I was a bit interested when Adam Saki did pass that ball backwards, but in the end, Herrera, nice ball there to pick out Lassana Doumbia, puts that bottom right corner, 1-0 Volsungur. And a few minutes off the back of that opening goal, it was Sporting there who were briefly on the attack, but a good tackle from Basaro Gay, and it gives us a chance here to build out from the back, and hopefully we can strike in quick succession and try and get a cushion goal, which will be very, very useful going into that second leg at home in tomorrow's episode. And yet again, a nice ball played over top here this time for Adam Saki. Tries to chip that, but that one does just go wide, still 1-0 with just under a half hour left. And again, we go forward about 5 minutes off the back of the previous highlight. It's a goal kick here to Sporting. Initially, Bayer does miss that header, but Ramadan is there to tidy things up. Can we grab a cushion goal that we did nearly get before through Adam Saki? This time he tries to make his way out to the right-hand side, puts us in for Mizkic inside the box. It's a shot, it's blocked. There's a few good saves there again from the Sporting goalkeeper, and Mizkic plays that one back to Herrera. This highlight will continue. It goes back now to Basaro Gay just on the edge of the box. Floats one into the mixer, and Agustin Agatigere will head that one into the top left corner. Quite a few good chances for us earlier in that highlight, but thankfully we eventually do put the ball in the back of the net, and there is that cushion goal that we have been looking for the last 15 minutes or so. Basaro Gay somehow gets that beyond the defender, and Agatigere just wrong fits the goalkeeper with that header. 2-0 Volsungur with just over 20 minutes left. And up to the 75-minute mark now, we're going to make our first few substitutions of this one. Lassana Doumbia down to a red heart. Bruno Costa can come on for him. Also, Agatigere did just get that goal, but is on a yellow. So I think we'll take him off. The player that we'll probably take him off for is Pedro Lemos. Radenko Krolo can switch forward into a right winger for the rest of this game. So that's 2 of our subs used, and we are still 2-0 up with 15 minutes left. And just inside the last 10 minutes of this one, and yet again we are on the attack. Pedro Lemos here on the edge of the box tries to play that one forward for Radenko Krolo. The goalkeeper misses the ball, and then it was Carrillo, I think that is, who just absolutely clatters Radenko Krolo. Pretty needless, albeit if he wasn't there, I think Radenko Krolo would have had a simple tap in, and we do get a penalty, and here's a chance to make it 3-0 going into that second leg in tomorrow's episode, and it is Adam Saki from the spot. Missed a good chance earlier when he did try and chip the goalkeeper. This time sends him the wrong way, puts that one in the bottom right corner, and it does look like at the very least we might be taking a 3-0 lead back to Iceland and might already have 1 foot in the door of the Champions League quarterfinals. 3-0 Volsungur with 5 minutes left. And only a few minutes off the back of that third goal, we are going to make our last substitution, even if it doesn't make that much impact on the game. Benvenu Bayer has gone down to a red heart. Elaine Basicki, our only midfield option left on the bench. We'll just shuffle our midfield around a little bit for these last couple of minutes, still holding a 3-0 lead. And we are just entering injury time in this game, still 3-0 off the back of that third substitution in the end based on XG and the stats. So I think this is a pretty well-deserved victory and quite a fair one as well. It was still locked up at 0-0 at halftime, but we were certainly a bit more efficient in front of goal in that second half, and in the end that is quite a convincing performance away from home, even if it was against the team you would expect us to do quite well against at this point of the save. So we are taking a 3-0 lead into that second leg in tomorrow's episode already, as I mentioned earlier, in quite a strong position to be making our way through to the quarterfinals. In the other game on this match day, it was Chelsea who picked up a late 1-0 win there against Cologne away from home. So those are the results from this third match day in the quarterfinals first leg. We'll come back shortly, get the other two results, and we'll just wrap things up for today's episode. But a good result there, 3-0 away at Sporting. And we have gone forward a day or so off the back of that good win away from home there against Sporting. And as you can see, we do now have the other results here from the first leg of this first knockout round. Manchester City did pick up a 3-1 win there at home against Barcelona. So they are in a strong position as well to be making the quarterfinals. And as well as that, Real Sociedad and RB Leipzig are locked up at 1-1 after the first leg of that one over in Spain. But I think that will pretty much do it for today's episode. Sorry if things do look a little bit scratchy. I did notice at points during the episode I probably need to sort things out with this camera, new face cam, and also at the moment I'm sitting on something which isn't really supposed to be sat on in all the sorting out of getting to this new house. I did forget we do need a computer chair, so hopefully that gets sent here over the next day or so, and I can be a little bit higher up and in a bit more of a comfortable position and not be swaying as much as I probably have been during today's episode, but still getting a little bit settled in here at the new house. But we are back in action here on the channel and in a strong position going into the second leg of this tie in tomorrow's episode. And hopefully we will also have a quarter final draw as well. But if you did enjoy today's episode, just a recap of what has happened since the end of last week and that win away in Portugal, then do remember to go down below, leave a thumbs up on the video, and if you haven't done so already and are enjoying the series here on the channel, also remember to hit that subscribe button and turn that notification bell on as well. But until tomorrow for the second leg against Sporting and hopefully a quarterfinal draw as well, thank you very much for watching. Keep on keeping on, and I'll see you then. Cheers.